Well, good morning to you. It is almost 7 o'clock here on the East Coast. I'm Anne-Marie Green. Really glad you're joining us this morning. Well, President Biden is putting pressure on the FDA to quickly grant full authorization for COVID-19 vaccines. During a town hall in Cincinnati last night, he said he expects that could happen by this fall and that children could be able to get the shot soon. That will help boost inoculation rates across the country. But unvaccinated Americans continue to endanger themselves and their communities. The president's comments come as the CDC is set to meet today to discuss whether or not COVID booster shots are needed and concerns surrounding the safety of Johnson & Johnson's vaccine. So Laura Podesta is joining us now from New York to talk more about this. Laura, in regards to the president's comments on vaccinations for children, do we know where the latest clinical trials stand at the moment? School is right around the corner.
So Pfizer and Moderna are currently undergoing clinical trials to see how the vaccine affects kids under the age of 12. We know that Pfizer is doing studies by breaking up 4,600 participants into 3 age groups between the ages of 5 and 11, 2 to 5 years old, and then between 6 months old and 2 years old. Data is expected to come back from those clinical trials sometime in September, and then the hope is, Anne-Marie, that it's all positive and the FDA grants emergency authorization for the vaccine for kids under 12.
Okay, and now what about this business of a possible booster shot? You mentioned the CDC is set to meet to talk COVID booster shots and the J&J vaccine efficacy, that's the single shot vaccine. What more do we know about this meeting?
So what we know is that there's going to be a lot of discussion today, Anne-Marie. There will not be a vote. There's no vote on the agenda. So the committee is going to be reviewing the data, as you mentioned, on the need for COVID-19 booster shots based on the lesser amount of protective antibodies found in people who received the Johnson & Johnson shot compared to those who got the Moderna or Pfizer shots. We also know that they'll be discussing the link between Guillain-Barré syndrome, as I mentioned before, and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Federal officials say that there have been about 100 preliminary reports of that neurological disorder out of the 13 million people who have received the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So, of course, rare, but they'll be discussing whether they need to do more other than add the warning label onto the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which is already there.
Okay, Laura Podesta in New York. Laura, thank you so much.
Thanks, Anne-Marie.